Hello, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to News FBA. Once again, thank you for all your support. It is greatly appreciated. We're talking about our reparations again. On one hand, you have people cosplaying as Black Americans and voting against it. And on the other hand, we have people acting as if they're Black Americans trying to get some of it.
Reparations claim, our reparations push. So I just wanted to come on today again to give you guys a new update on California's move to derail our reparations push. So despite tireless efforts from the freedmen community and reparations advocates, California lawmakers just approved two dangerous bills, SB 437 and SB 518, that threaten to derail our fight for real reparations. So once again, California lawmakers just approved two dangerous bills, SB 437 and SB 518. Both of these bills threaten to derail the fight for real reparations. And you know, when I talk about real reparations, I'm talking about cash payments, right?
Okay, so what that is saying is, okay, what she's saying and what they're trying to do is pass these two bills to stop cash payment reparations. So they're trying to wiggle their way in California, by the way, wiggle their way into giving us some other form of reparations. And once again, no. See, any other form of reparations is not adequate. You won't be able to do what you want to do with it. You won't be able to grow it into generational wealth. It'll be the same as a handout. Okay, here, you take this, now go along and be happy with it. Do whatever you can do with this, but I'm not giving you no money.
It's not reparations unless it is talking about cash payments. Obviously, we're owed so much more, but we want to talk about the cash right now. So right now, we're just going to, cut the check. Stop playing. Cut the check. What's up, Marcus Bowden? Thank you for joining my live. Again, I'm talking about California's push, or actually California's two dangerous bills, SB 37 and SB 518, which threatens to derail reparations here in California. These bills were passed over the loud and clear objections of those most impacted. Us. Who's more impacted than us? Who's more in need of economic empowerment than foundational Black American freedmen? Who's owed the most on the planet more than foundational Black American freedmen, right? So again, these bills, SB 437 and SB 518, these bills were passed over the loud and clear objections of those most impacted, us, descendants of slaves, the very people the state promised to make whole. Y'all remember that? Do y'all remember when the state said that they were going to make foundational Black Americans whole? But what it is you have a bunch of sellout Negroes within our state representatives in the California Legislative Caucus and others, you know what I'm saying, that's selling us out, and basically they've pushed us aside right now because they're fighting for illegal immigration, and fighting ICE and all these unimportant things that they're not important to us right now, because we are literally fighting for our lives. We're starving for our lives. We are at the bottom 1% when it comes to economics. You know what I'm saying? Our dollars do not, circulate within our community enough because we don't have enough.
Thank you to my intelligent sister. As you can see, what she's saying is 100% correct and adequate. Okay, now check this out.
About the efforts, so to speak, right? in California in regards to reparations, where in 2020 there was a commission fashioned to study the need for reparations for American descendants of slavery in California. And in 2024, the California Legislative Black Caucus decided, okay, well, let's take 2 of those bills to the floor to Gavin Newsom to either pass or veto. Well, he didn't get a chance to do any of that because they, being in the California Legislative Black Caucus, decided to block and say, we ain't gonna do none of the above. In fact, y'all remember Assemblyman Isaac Bryan, he got caught with his arms folded, pretending that he was in there doing something as black people were waiting in the lobby, and they were excited because they thought, okay, maybe this is it. We're gonna get some reparations. Now, of course, one of the bills was to fashion a Freedmen's Bureau, and the other one was to fund it, right? The money. So nevertheless, that never happened. But it sounds like they came up with about 14 to 16 reparation bills that they wanted passed. So far, 6 out of these 14 bills have been passed, and trust me, ain't no money attached to none of them. One of them is the Crown Act, and they get issued an apology. I was sorry, but again, there's no money. But there's another one that they're very excited about trying to get passed, right? And let me read it to you. SB 518 would establish the Bureau for Descendants of American Slavery within the Department of Justice under the control of the director, who would be appointed by the Attorney General and confirmed by the Senate. This bill is one of many crucial steps toward addressing the long-lasting and ongoing harms inflicted upon descendants of U.S. chattel slavery and non-descendants. As a part of its duties, the Bureau would create 4 specialized divisions to begin the process of redress and repair.
And once again, thank you, my sister, for this information. But look at this. Non-descendants. Why would non-descendants, how can non-descendants, why and how can non-descendants qualify or even deserve reparations for slavery in this country when they're non-descendants? Non-descendants means tethers. And then when you throw non-descendants in, surely other ethnic backgrounds that are immigrants or first generation or second generations whose families are not descendants of slaves, okay, will wiggle their way into whatever reparations that they're trying to give. And the funny thing about this is, how can you even put in the same for U.S. chattel slavery and then add non-descendants? What is the non-descendants about? What is the non-descendants about? So this is another tactic for tethers and people like tethers to wiggle their way in on our FBA, Black Foundational Americans reparations. Here we have the president of Ghana, okay, at the UN, supposed to be there. From what I take, most of them are there to speaking about the atrocity and what's going on in Gaza, okay? I'm sure they're speaking about other things, they're bringing up other topics, but those are the main topics. Here we have a president of a country on the continent of Africa begging for reparation money and tying FBAs into it. Listen to them.
These are people who have brought great distinction to the countries that they decided to call home. Just as the migrants and the children of migrants before them did, I dare say these are not invaders. These are not criminals. Madam President, the slave trade must be recognized as the greatest crime against humanity. As the African champion on reparations, Ghana intends to introduce a motion in this August body to that effect. More than 12.5 million Africans were forcibly taken against their will and transported to create wealth for the powerful Western nations. We must demand reparations for the enslavement of our people and the colonization of our land that resulted in the theft of our natural resources.
Did you hear this shit? See, first of all, you was a part of slavery. Y'all have the facilities at the water in Ghana right now as a tourist attraction of where you guys grabbed and sold the people from that continent into slavery. You were part of it. I mean, you want reparations. And then you're going to say you want reparations for people coming in stealing minerals and things from that's your responsibility. And always remember, delineation is a must. Thank y'all for stopping through. I'll holler at you.